Welcome back to another video, you guys. Let me just fix up my mic because she's a little slanted. Okay, welcome back. Today is about heartbreak and how heartbreak can actually be the biggest blessing that you will ever experience. And I always say that experiences expand you and experiences evolve you. And I truly believe that being on earth, we are here to evolve, go through things, learn the lesson, take the lesson with us, and create the best possible life for ourselves, right? I think the whole purpose is just becoming better and being happy, like truly being happy. And I want to talk about how heartbreak actually expands you, and you may not see that or feel that while you're going through it, how to heal from heartbreak, and how you can use this to your advantage to create the best possible life for yourself. I want to talk about the healing process. So if you have just gone through a heartbreak, okay, when you have just lost the person that maybe you thought you were going to marry, maybe the person you thought you were going to build a future with, or maybe you were building a future with this person and growing together and just really creating a life together, and that doesn't happen the way that you thought it was going to happen. And something happens and you break up and you go through a heartbreak. I know how devastating that can feel. And the first step to healing from heartbreak is truly feeling everything. Feeling sad, feeling heartbroken, feeling devastated. If you need to cry, cry. If you need to get angry, get angry. The best thing you can do is actually feel everything so deeply. Because you don't want to put yourself in a position where you aren't feeling things and you're actually suppressing them and you're holding it in and you're avoiding it. Because when you do that, you are storing that emotion as energy in your body, and it is trying to leave. It is trying to be released. But if you aren't releasing it, emotionally releasing it, mentally releasing it, the only way it's actually going to release is physically. And that's where people get manifestations of illness, because that energy is manifesting through your body as illness, and your body will start to say, hey, look, you're not willing to feel your feelings. We're gonna make you feel your feelings. So you need to truly feel everything. And I know this is honestly like gut-wrenching to go through. I get it. But you need to give yourself time to cry without the expectation or pressure to be better. If you have the privilege to do nothing, cry, let it out. If you have to go to work, if you have commitments and responsibilities in your life, work around that the best possible way. Give yourself time, make time, prioritize time to feel your feelings. Because I promise you, this speeds up the healing process so much, rather than getting months down the track and having it hit you and having you suddenly have to deal with it when you thought you had healed and moved on, and then wondering why you're not attracting better or new experiences because you still haven't dealt with it. Feel everything. Give yourself weeks, but after that, it's time to keep it moving, because you can't dwell in that. You can't stay in that space and almost find comfort in it. You can't find comfort in the suffering. At some point in time, you have to be able to pull yourself out. And that's exactly how we're going to go into the healing process today. Feel your feelings, let it out. Lay in your puddle of tears. Get angry. Do what you need to do. Okay? Now, to actually move on and heal from this, you need to first of all understand, why did this happen? What actually went wrong? So from a logical perspective, from an external perspective, you need to look at the situation and come to terms with what actually happened. Okay, this person did this, I did this happened. Write it out. We broke up because this. You can list the reasons. This is really great because first of all, you can acknowledge it. Second of all, you fill the gaps for your mind to create false narratives where your brain literally craves the comfort of this person that you are with, that your brain will try to convince you all of the good things and it'll block out the bad things. So by coming to terms with what actually went wrong, you fill the gaps where your mind will try to convince you they were a great person. Because yes, they may be great, yes, they may not be great, but if they were for you, you would be with them. You would have worked it out. They wouldn't have hurt you. You wouldn't have hurt them. Whatever the story is, it just wouldn't have happened. You wouldn't be in this position. But unfortunately, the reality is that they weren't your person. And that is why you're dealing with heartbreak, because love doesn't hurt. Love isn't painful. Love isn't betrayal. Love isn't deceptive. Love is connection. Love is kindness. Love is care. Love is so many things. But it's definitely not disrespect or anything like that that may have caused the breakup. Okay, so first of all, understand why it actually ended and coming to terms with it. If they disrespected you, you need to start to accept that they actually did that and they didn't take your feelings into consideration. If they cheated on you, you need to acknowledge, okay, they chose someone else over me. That's what happened. Whatever the story is, okay, you need to become clear on that so you fill the gaps of where your mind will try to convince you other stories, okay? Once you understand logically what has happened and externally what has happened, you need to look internally. Because as I said, experiences will come in to expand you, to grow you. And you need to be willing to learn the lesson and take your lesson with you and keep going so that you can get what you deserve and what you want out of this lifetime. So the next step is looking internally. Okay, nothing is ever random, nothing is ever coincidence. Okay, everything in this world is literally so magical if you look beyond the veil. So logically, externally, you may look at a situation and say, that was shitty, this happened. But if you look behind those things, there's always deeper meaning to them. And in that deeper meaning, you can find so much comfort in understanding the divine plan and how this is redirecting you on path to get what you want. And a lot of people lack looking behind, okay, beyond the veil. A lot of people don't look that deep into things and they just carry the external reasoning and the internalized repressed emotions of it with them, and that's why it's hard to move on and heal. So when you look beyond the veil and you look at what happens, you ask yourself the question, why did I attract this into my experience? Because nothing is random. It's almost like the universe creates this perfect person, perfect dynamic, perfect situation that is going to trigger you in all the right ways for you to awaken, for you to realize, for you to grow and evolve. And I say this all the time, is that experiences expand you and things will happen to get you moving. Because if nothing came into your experience to shake you, you would stay there. And I think that is the saddest thing of all time, is staying in the same place your entire life and never growing and never evolving. Okay, the best things are on the other side of heartbreak, or on the other side of failure, on the other side of trauma. Whatever it is that you're going through, there's always a divine plan behind the scenes that people don't see. So when you peel back the layer and you look a little bit deeper into the wound of what has happened, you ask yourself the question, how did this trigger me? What has this brought up within me? You can look into going into shadow work. You can look into just self-reflecting, but look a little bit deeper into what's actually going on. Okay, you may have different wounds from childhood that were triggered and brought up. You may have different attachment styles that you've realized about yourself. You may understand things from a better perspective when you look deeper into the deeper reasoning. Think about it like this. If you want a loving, a beautiful relationship, but you still have wounds from your childhood, the universe is going to send you someone that will trigger you in all the right ways so that you have no other option but to heal them, so that you can become who you're meant to be, to then be with who you're meant to be with. You need to evolve to get to the same frequency as that soulmate or that person or whatever it is, okay? And I don't want you to focus on the other person, the person that you're going to meet. You need to focus on being the love of your own life, becoming the best version of yourself and giving yourself the life that you truly deserve. So when this person comes in, disguised as your lover, disguised as your soulmate, disguised as your partner, you need to see beyond them Why this, out of billions of people, this specific person came in at the specific time and did that specific thing. It is not random. It is not a coincidence. The universe is trying to elevate you, and they had to send someone in to expand you. Even though it's painful, even though it hurts, you are gonna become better because of this, because now that person is holding up a big mirror to show you what you need to heal within yourself. Everyone is a reflection, and when you heal yourself, the next reflection is a solid reflection, okay? A reflection of the best of yourself. Now, there's no perfect person. I'm not saying you need to be perfect, but I'm saying you attract people that reflect you. So if someone has hurt you, and this is never justify shitty behavior or bad behavior, this is for your healing process. This is so you can heal, okay? Because at the end of the day, people operate from their own level of consciousness. So you can even take a look at the person that hurt you or the person you're going through heartbreak with and try to figure out why they did what they did. What wounds did they have? Because at the end of the day, there's no perfect person. If someone hasn't done the inner work, or maybe they have done the inner work, they still operate from their wounds. And a lot of that can be subconscious until someone comes and brings it up in them, okay? A lot of people have this idea that once they go through heartbreak, they're never going to meet someone again, or they never find love again. But it's honestly so back the front, you know. People expand us. Like, someone has to come in, otherwise you'll never move. People are always going to consistently come in so that you can grow and evolve. Like, there's no way you'd never meet someone again. But right now, it's about finding comfort in being on your own and being okay with that and loving who you are and actually healing from this so that you don't attract another person with the same lessons come into your experience. Do you really want to go through this again? Okay, this is the perfect opportunity for you to up level and grow, even though it is painful, even though you may have thought this was your person. I promise you, if they were your person, they would still be there, but they are not. That is the reality. And this is forcing you to do the inner work, to evolve, to become better, to get what you want. How exciting. You just can't see that yet because you're in the emotion of it. So look at yourself, take a good look at yourself and analyze why this happened, why this person did this specific thing, and why is that relevant to you? Okay, once you do this, you'll realize that you probably have things that you need to fix up and heal. This is where shadow work comes in. This is where you understand why you are the way that you are. Analyze yourself, get to know yourself. Well, why do I react this way? Why do I respond this way? Why did I attract someone that did this to me? What is this actually teaching me? What is this actually showing me? Where are my weak spots? What are things that I didn't know about myself until this person came in and held up that mirror, right? Again, you do this inner work and you leave it at that. You can understand yourself and get to know yourself and heal those parts of yourself. Heal your inner child. A lot of these things are related to childhood dynamics, relationships with your mother, your father, your attachment style, everything like that that you have subconsciously taken on from specifically ages 1 to 7 being in the theta brainwave state where our programs are formed, but also your idea of what love is. When you heal, when you do this inner work, you will realize and you will no longer be attracted to what you were in the past. The person that hurt you is no longer in your league, is no longer someone that you would even consider, because the broken parts of you were attracted to that because it filled a void. But now you're filling the void yourself because you're getting to know yourself and you're healing those parts of yourself, right? This is the real glow up. The real glow up starts from within. So once you take a look at yourself and you take a look at them, you can package it up in a big bow and you can leave it at that. You don't need to spend your life digging. You don't need to spend your life trying to understand. You don't even need to justify or give excuses for their behavior because you can see why they did it on a deeper subconscious level. You don't need to look at someone and say, I know you cheated on me because you have this wound, so I kind of get it. Okay? You don't need to put yourself down just because someone else is struggling and suffering. Okay? When you do this inner work, you will realize that this actually came in to expand you and grow you. And I've said that the entire video. When you start to heal and when you do this and you do these 2 major steps, you understand that nothing that happened to you was personal. You understand that this person disrespecting you or hurting you or something not working out was never about you. A lot of the time, going through heartbreak, people internalize it. People think they did something wrong, or they're not good enough, or they need to be prettier, or they need to be smarter, or they weren't whatever. You like internalize these stories about yourself that are just so far from the truth. And when you do this work, you can see that it was never personal and that you don't internalize those stories, right? Because your self-concept and the way that you perceive yourself affects everything. And if you've internalized from the past an event or a heartbreak, and then you start to wear the burden of thinking you're not good enough and there's so much better out there and all these stories, then that affects your perception of yourself. So then you start to believe that. You start to believe that you're not worthy. You start to believe that you're not deserving. You start to believe that maybe love isn't for you, when it is so far from the truth. You went through an experience that is trying to open you up to love, but you feel resistance towards it because it is uncomfortable. Because you are facing a lifetime worth of trauma in a span of months, going through heartbreak and trying to navigate your way out of it. Okay? Something to take note of when dealing with heartbreak is to avoid social media. For some strange, bizarre reason, social media loves to romanticize pain. And I don't know why, but the algorithm will always pick up on it. If you watch one video about a breakup, about heartbreak, you keep scrolling and more will just keep popping up. And suddenly you feel like you're back at square one. You feel like you're back at the feeling phase of allowing your emotions out and feeling it. And suddenly, social media has created this narrative in your brain that they were the one that got away and you'll never find better. And social media really pushes this narrative. And it's honestly so sad to see that people are going out and off their way to post this content that they know is actually going to pull people back down into it. And I know people like to connect through their pain, but at the same time, it is your responsibility to stay conscious of what you're consuming. Not only on social media, but the music that you listen to. There are so many sad songs out there that just pull your vibration back down, right? Nothing could change, but if you listen to sad music versus happy music, you're going to feel different, and you have the power to control what you're consuming. Don't listen to sad songs. Don't watch sad movies. Don't watch sad social media things. Keep your focus on your healing and reminding yourself of what the bigger picture is doing. Don't get caught up in the hole of sadness and feeling like you failed and you're never going to find better and this person got better and everyone else around you is living their best life and you're the only one that can't. I promise you, the moment that you take control back over your energy, of your focus, of your attention, you get to direct the experience of your human avatar. If someone disrespected you and this heartbreak has really destroyed you, ask yourself the question, why would you even want to be with someone like that? There are millions of people in the world, and you're sad because of one person that didn't value you, that didn't want you, that didn't want to be with you. Do you think that is the last person on earth and that the only person for you is someone that doesn't care or doesn't value you? You need to start to value yourself. As I said, as you heal, you're no longer interested in that. It is the wounded parts of yourself that wants that for comfort. As you heal, you realize there is an abundance of incredible people out there, and they would be so lucky to have you in their life. You need to realize that just because one person didn't see the value in you doesn't mean the next person won't, okay? Understand everything is energy. When we peel back and we look at what's going on energetically, you need to make sure that you're doing that in every single aspect of your life. Meaning, get rid of the social media connections. Block, remove, get rid of items, get rid of photos, get rid of all of your ties to this person, because if you physically hold on to things or digitally hold on to things, you are also energetically holding on, and that causes resistance to moving forward. I was working with a client one time and they had been single for 5 years and they really wanted to manifest their soulmate in. And so we stepped through everything. And I said, something's got to be missing here because you've done all the right things. Something's missing here. This person still had a box of memories and belongings that they had in their storage for 5 years. They hadn't gotten rid of it in 5 years. And I said, you need to get rid of that box right now because you are holding on to this person, this relationship energetically when you have been out of there for 5 whole years and you still haven't met someone new. I'm telling you, they got rid of it that day. The next day, they met their soulmate. I worked with them. It's been 2 years now. They're about to get married. They met their person the next day after they got rid of that stuff. So go through, get rid of it. I know you want to hold on to memories and things like that, but is that serving you? No, it's not serving you. So get rid of it. People are portals. One person leaves, another one will come. People are bound to come. So don't you ever fall back into the fear of thinking, I'm never going to meet someone new. I'm just going to settle here because I don't want to be alone. I would prefer be alone than with someone that disrespects you, because do you really think that low of yourself? Do you think that you are just rubbish on the floor that's just going to accept anything to avoid being with yourself? Like, you should be your favorite person in the world. You should love to spend time with yourself. Get to know yourself. Realize that life becomes really fun when you treat it like a game and you can build your character up and you can have what you want instead of settling for breadcrumbs and rubbish over here. Think about it. If you had a daughter, if you had a son, if you had a child, would you really want them to be with that type of person? No, you wouldn't. So why are you there? Why are you even sad about that? Of course, feel your feelings, but it's not really a loss, is it? I don't think that's a loss at all. I think that's a gain for you. So focus on what you're gaining. Take your lessons, right? You learnt so much about yourself. You were able to heal yourself. You learnt what you do want in a person, in a relationship, because you were shown what you don't want. Contrast is real. You need contrast. You need the dark to find your light, and you need to experience all light to know what dark is. You need contrast. So you need to experience what you don't want, disguised as what you want, or what the wounded parts of yourself want, to know what you actually want, what your soul actually wants. You know what I mean? So you have to go through this, unfortunately, and it's something that a lot of people go through. And congratulations if you are going through it, because now you have no other option but to go through this unknown, heal yourself, become the best version of yourself, and actually get the things that you want that make you happy. Ask yourself, was that really a connection or was it an attachment? If it was really a connection, you wouldn't be afraid of losing it, because a connection cannot be lost. It is an attachment that was disguised as a connection, and it's time for you to acknowledge that and be real with yourself and stop projecting your potential onto people. It is what it is. Disrespect is the closure. Actions louder than words. This is some like blunt advice now. Women don't realize the power that they hold just by being a woman. Like, we are the closest thing to God. We literally bring life into this world. We are creators and we have so much life force energy. And when we are with a partner or we are with a man, and we don't realize that we give them our energy. And that's why you see a lot of men become so successful, so abundant, like everything is just thriving in their life when they're with a woman, because they feed off our energy. And that is why it's so important that you are with someone that also feeds back into you, so you become such a great team together. But when you are with someone that doesn't value you, doesn't respect you, and you are giving them and making them successful, you get left depleted. You feel like shit. You feel so bad because you don't even have any of your energy and you're not getting any benefits from it anyway. Like, you were just doing free charity work out here for someone that doesn't care about you. Call it back. I promise you, the moment that you call your energy back and you do this work and you actually detach yourself from this person and you take back all your energetic plugs, a lot of the time the men that you were with, or the person that you were with, starts to struggle because they no longer have that fuel from you. And it sounds very woo-woo and maybe a little esoteric, but it is a real thing. Energy is real, especially when you are going into the life partner dynamic. So important that you find someone that feeds back into you and sees you for all that you are. If you aren't being seen as all that you are, okay, if you are not the goddess, if you are not the queen, he ain't the king. And to know that you should see people, like, going into a relationship, you should see that these people are like auditioning for your life. You know what I mean? Like, you're not trying to fit into their life and be what they want you to be. You should think, okay, I know who I am. I love who I am. So this is the type of person that I need. Does this person fit my criteria? Does this person meet my needs? The more picky you become and the higher your standards and the more you love yourself, the less likely you are to ever go through this again, right? And it's like, take this time, truly take this time to do those processes so that you can have your dream man. And I promise you, they're out there. I promise you. Finally, the last thing is karma. As I said, when you remove your energy, the person no longer has the access and the life force energy fuel for them. And a lot of the times when you stay there, they don't receive their karma. Because if someone did you wrong, what goes out comes back. And if they did you wrong, but you're standing there protecting them and not taking your power back and removing yourself, you protect them. So the sooner you get out of the way and do yourself a favor, you're also doing them a favor, because they will receive their karma. They will learn their lessons, but that's not your responsibility. That's not your job. There's never any revenge. The best revenge is doing the inner work, actually healing so you can become better, attract what you want. Because when you do this work and you truly heal your wounds, you go up on the pedestal in your own life. Like, you start to value and love yourself so much that you would never even put yourself in a room where there would be an opportunity for you to be disrespected, where you could even come close to anything like that again. And I mean, looking back, you realize, I can't believe I put myself through that, but it all came from the wounded parts of yourself. And this is the perfect opportunity for you to acknowledge that no one is perfect. We all have shit, but the sooner you work through your shit and evolve, and you actually just everything starts to get good the moment you pour that energy back into yourself. Instead of pouring it into someone or a relationship that isn't serving you, when you pour it into yourself and you use that energy to work on your career, work on your finances, work on your life, go travel, meet new people, build solid friendships, everything elevates. Like, everything genuinely elevates. Everything, it's a win-win situation. So you can thank this person who broke your heart because it forced you to do the work and it forced you to become better. And now you see that as a blessing, and you see what this was truly teaching you and what this was truly doing for you. Okay? Take your power back, up-level your life. There's no revenge. There's never any revenge. People will get what's coming for them. That's not your job to monitor. Become the person they can never have. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching my video. If you are going through a heartbreak at the moment, I have a 12-week program coming out called Alchemy, and this is transmuting your pain or your heartbreak into your power and becoming the best version of yourself. I will see you there. Other than that, be sure to join my exclusive online community called Beyond the Veil, where I have exclusive episodes, content, podcasts, everything like that in there, meditations, the whole shebang, okay? And yeah, I hope to see you in there. Other than that, I'll see you in my next video. Let me know if you have any questions, leave a comment, leave a like, and I'll see you next time. Bye!